Have you ever noticed how sugar cravings seem to creep up on us more often as we get older? Or wondered why cutting back gets harder, even though the risks get higher? In today's episode of Talk to the Doctor, we're exploring the hidden impact of sugar on the aging process, what it does to your skin, joints, memory, and even your energy levels. But we're not just talking problems. We're giving you safe, practical tips to reduce sugar without feeling deprived. Stick around until the end because Dr. Miller will share one sweet substitute that's actually good for your brain and bones. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and share this episode with someone you care about. Let's age wisely together. Dr. Miller, thank you for being here.
Hi, Emily. Great to be back. Sugar is one of the biggest culprits in accelerating aging, especially after 60. I'm glad we're talking about this.
Let's start with the basics. How does sugar affect aging?
Great question. When we eat too much sugar, especially added sugar, it contributes to a process called glycation. That's when sugar molecules attach to proteins in the body, forming compounds called AGEs, advanced glycation end products. These compounds damage collagen and elastin, which are critical for keeping your skin firm and joints flexible. So we're talking wrinkles, stiffness, and inflammation. Sugar also spikes insulin, which over time can lead to insulin resistance and even type 2 diabetes. That's linked to cognitive decline, kidney disease, and cardiovascular issues. And let's not forget, the more sugar you consume, the more you crave, making it hard to break the habit. For seniors, this creates a vicious cycle: weaker bones, more joint pain, slower healing, and lower energy levels.
Some people say things like honey or fruit sugar are healthier. Is that true?
Not all sugars are created equal. Whole fruits, for instance, come packed with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. The fiber helps slow down sugar absorption, which prevents blood sugar spikes. On the other hand, honey, agave, and maple syrup are still added sugars. While they have trace nutrients, they behave similarly to white sugar in the body. The real difference comes from how sugar is packaged. Eating an orange is far better than drinking orange juice. Whole foods are always the better choice.
So, how much sugar can older adults safely consume? What's the recommended limit?
Great follow-up. According to the American Heart Association, older adults should aim for no more than 25 grams of added sugar per day. That's about 6 teaspoons. And honestly, for optimal aging, less is better. Keep in mind, added sugar is found in places you might not expect, like salad dressings, breads, canned soups, and even so-called healthy snacks. That's why reading labels becomes a crucial habit. But instead of obsessively counting grams, focus on whole, unprocessed foods. Cook more at home, limit desserts to special occasions, and retrain your palate over time. The less sugar you eat, the less you crave. Hydration is also key. Sometimes what feels like a sugar craving is actually thirst. Drinking water or herbal tea can curb those cravings and protect your energy.
Let's get practical. How can someone safely cut down on sugar, especially if they have a sweet tooth?
That's such an important question. First, don't try to go cold turkey. Drastic cuts often lead to binging. Instead, take a gradual approach. Start with awareness. Keep a food diary for 3 days and circle every source of added sugar. Swap smart. Replace sugary drinks with water or unsweetened herbal teas. Trade morning pastries for oatmeal with fruit. Use natural alternatives. Try cinnamon, vanilla extract, or stevia to enhance flavor without sugar. Eat more protein and fiber. They stabilize blood sugar and keep you full, reducing cravings. Also, don't underestimate the power of sleep and stress management. Poor sleep increases sugar cravings, and chronic stress leads many people to emotional eating. So support your body holistically. Remember, sugar reduction isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every small change adds up to healthier aging.
That's incredibly helpful, doctor. Now let's flip the script. What kinds of improvements can older adults expect to see once they start cutting back on sugar?
Oh, this is where things get exciting. Cutting back on sugar can produce noticeable results, often in just a few weeks. The first thing many seniors notice is more energy. Without sugar highs and crashes, your body runs on a more stable fuel source. You feel less sluggish, especially in the afternoon. Next is better sleep. Excess sugar disrupts your circadian rhythm and blood sugar balance at night. Reducing intake can improve the quality and depth of sleep, which is critical for recovery and memory. You'll also likely experience fewer joint aches. Sugar fuels systemic inflammation, which can worsen arthritis and other age-related joint issues. When you reduce sugar, that inflammation calms down, leading to less stiffness and pain. Some people report clearer thinking, better mood stability, and even improved digestion, especially if they've cut down on processed foods as part of the process. And over the long term, reduced risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, type 2 diabetes, and weight gain. That's a major return on a simple investment: less sugar in your diet.
That's incredible. And finally, earlier you teased a brain and bone-friendly sweetener. What is it?
Yes, it's monk fruit extract. It's one of the best natural sweeteners out there, especially for seniors. Monk fruit is a small green melon from Southeast Asia, and its sweetness comes from natural compounds called Omega-3s, not sugar. It's calorie-free, doesn't spike blood sugar, and has no bitter aftertaste like stevia sometimes does. Plus, it may have antioxidant properties that help reduce oxidative stress, great for brain health and aging cells. It's perfect for baking, coffee, or tea, but as with all things, moderation is key. Too much sweetness, natural or not, can still keep sugar cravings alive. The good news? Monk fruit helps satisfy the sweet tooth while supporting a sugar-conscious lifestyle.
Question from Linda, 68, from Arizona. Dr. Miller, I've recently started using artificial sweeteners in my coffee instead of sugar. Are those safe for people my age?
That's a timely question, Linda, and one that comes up often. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin are FDA approved and considered generally safe in moderation. However, for older adults, there are some concerns to keep in mind. Some studies suggest these sweeteners can alter gut bacteria, which plays a major role in metabolism, immunity, and even mood. Additionally, they may confuse your body's natural signals for hunger and sweetness. So while they may help reduce calories short-term, they could actually increase sugar cravings or appetite over time. For seniors, I recommend natural alternatives like monk fruit or stevia, both of which have minimal impact on blood sugar and don't appear to disrupt gut health in the same way. And remember, if your taste buds adjust over time, you may find you don't need added sweetness at all.
Question from George, 73, from Florida. I've been eating fruit to replace desserts, but I'm worried about too much sugar from fruit. Should I cut back?
Excellent concern, George. But here's the good news. You don't need to fear fruit. Whole fruits like apples, berries, oranges, and bananas contain natural sugars, yes, but they're also packed with fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that actually help protect your heart, brain, and metabolism. What matters is portion and variety. Stick to 2 to 3 servings of whole fruit a day, ideally spaced throughout meals. Try not to rely only on high-sugar fruits like grapes or bananas. Mix in fiber-rich options like apples or berries. And avoid fruit juices. They strip out the fiber and deliver a sugar rush. So no, don't cut out fruit. Embrace it wisely. It's one of the best sweet swaps you can make.
Question from Carol, 66, from Seattle. I love baking for my grandchildren. Are there any sugar alternatives that work well in baking and are safe for older adults?
That's a beautiful tradition, Carol, and I'm glad you asked. Baking doesn't have to be off the table just because you're cutting back on sugar. There are several alternatives that work well in baked goods and are more blood sugar friendly. My top choices are monk fruit sweetener. It bakes well, has 0 calories, and doesn't affect blood sugar. Many brands blend it with erythritol for better texture. Stevia, it's good for light baking, though it can have a slightly bitter aftertaste. Try using it in combination with other alternatives. Applesauce or mashed bananas. These natural fruit purees add moisture and sweetness, and they come with fiber and nutrients. And date paste, a great natural option, especially for cookies or bars. Just be mindful of quantity, as dates are high in natural sugar. You may need to experiment with texture and ratios, but it's absolutely possible to enjoy baking with grandkids while keeping it healthy.
Question from Robert, 70, from North Carolina. Does quitting sugar help with joint pain? My knees have been stiff for years.
Yes, Robert, reducing sugar can absolutely help with joint stiffness, especially if inflammation is a factor. When we eat excess sugar, the body releases inflammatory messengers like cytokines, which can aggravate joints. Over time, this chronic low-level inflammation contributes to stiffness, swelling, and even cartilage breakdown in conditions like osteoarthritis. Many of my patients report less pain and improved mobility within a month of lowering added sugars. Replacing sugar-laden snacks with anti-inflammatory foods like salmon, turmeric, leafy greens, and olive oil can make a noticeable difference. And also make sure you're staying hydrated and getting enough omega-3s and vitamin D. Joint health is a whole body equation, and sugar is one of the biggest culprits.
Dr. Miller, thank you for all those practical and eye-opening insights today. It's clear that sugar does far more than just add a few pounds. It affects our skin, our joints, our memory, and even how we age overall.
Absolutely, Emily. And the encouraging part is, it's never too late to make a change. Small, consistent steps like switching to whole foods, watching hidden sugars, and managing stress can truly transform our health after 60 and beyond.
We hope today's episode has given you the motivation and tools to take back control of your sugar intake, and, by extension, your vitality. And now we want to hear from you. What topics would you like us to cover in upcoming episodes? Is there a question you've always wanted to ask about aging, nutrition, or lifestyle changes? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. We read every single one. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a loved one who might be on the same journey. Let's help each other age better together. Until next time, this is Emily and Dr. David Miller saying, stay strong, stay curious, and take good care of yourself.